Alrighty guys, so this is chapter 4, rigging the face, and we're going to go ahead and rig our face uh, for Face Robot. Alright, so what we need to do is go ahead and start picking objects that define our face. So we hit that big pick objects button, and now we can pick the face mesh. And Softimage is letting us know with this image here that what we need to pick. And in this particular case, it's got the skin highlighted, so we need to just pick the skin. And that's pretty much the face mesh. Now it wants us to pick the right eye, so we'll pick the right eyeball, then the left eyeball, and we'll pick the upper jaw and the lower jaw. And finally we'll pick the tongue. And you'll notice Face Robot is very robust. It's removing things out of our way so that we can easily pick objects, which is really awesome. So it moved the lower jaws out of our way so we could pick the tongue. And that's pretty much it. We'll go ahead and hit the assemble button. And right now it says the mesh is not ready, so we had an issue even despite all that we tried to do in Cinema 4D. We had an issue, and the issue is the face type. We forgot to pick a particular face type in the type tab above here. So let's do that first. Apparently our face is symmetrical, so let's go ahead and pick a symmetrical face. And we'll go ahead and pick our objects again, and it pretty much put all the objects back into the hierarchy for us, so we don't really need to actually pick again. So we can go ahead and assemble. And everything looks good. We did a pretty darn bang-up job in Cinema 4D. We didn't have to do anything here in Softimage modeling tools wise to correct any discrepancies, which is great. So let's go ahead and scan. And what Softimage wants us to do now is to start picking landmarks. So we're going to go ahead and click Start. And now we need to pick areas of the face that define certain points. Now once again, our tools for moving around in Softimage is to use S to toggle the move tools, the camera tools, and then we can use our right mouse button to kind of sort of orbit around, our left mouse button to pan, and our dolly button is our right mouse button click to zoom in. Alright, so we've got our model kind of sort of lined up in such a way that we can easily pick the nose. Softimage is telling us we need to pick the bulge of the nostril now, so let's go ahead and pick that. Then we need to pick the corner closest to the of the eye closest to the nose. And this is all very, very, very seamless, very, very simple. Something that you traditionally would see in a less powerful tool. You know, it makes it easier for the user, but then you don't have a lot of power in the back end. Softimage Face Robot is not like that. You'll see that we have tremendous power in the back end to do so much, even despite the fact that this is so futuristic and so simple. We'll go ahead and pick the upper eyelid, and we'll just keep moving through these landmarks. Pretty much just picking out the landmarks that it tells us to pick out on the face. All right, so we'll rotate, and we'll pan, and we'll zoom out a little bit so I can see more of the head. I think this little corner right here, where this triangle is, or this triangle-esque quad is probably where I want to pick. Um, and Alright, and then we got this area where the earlobe meets the face. So go ahead and then of course we need to also resume our picking, so we'll resume. And we'll go ahead and rotate up, and we'll go ahead and pan here. And I'm kind of fighting the system right now because the controls are a little bit backwards for me, but I'm gonna go ahead and select the bottom corner of the jaw, and then the underside of the jaw, underside of that jaw corner, so like right about there, and hit S again, rotate around, get one of the corners of the chin, and because we selected symmetrical, it's pretty much giving us the same points on either side. So we'll zoom in real close here for this one. Just truck in and pan in and truck in some more and pan. And probably try to get like right here. And then where the neck meets the jaw. So we'll go ahead and click that there. And the midpoint of the Adam's apple, we didn't really use much of our neck, so I'm just going to pick kind of that point there, and go ahead and rotate around again. Try to get this below the jaw area, like right here. And go ahead and truck out again, and try to get this tendon area, I guess right around here. Point of the jawline below the back of the ear, so it's kind of like the back neck area. So we can go ahead and rotate around, and it's going to be like kind of like right here, slightly below and back from the earlobe. I'd say right about here. Farthest outward point on the back of the ear. So we'll go ahead and pan. We'll go ahead and truck out. And say that's right there. And we can right click to finish picking. And before we go ahead and fit the model, let's go ahead and save this pick out as a new scene. So underscore 2 or underscore fit start would probably be better for us. This will let us know that this is our fit start. Just in case we don't like our fit for whatever reason, we can always come back and repick. But we've already selected our face components, so we can skip that part. So this is what I was kind of talking about. We're kind of just want to go through each step, and at the end of each step we're probably just going to want to save out a file in case we need to go back, because like I said, these steps are kind of sort of destructive. Once we go to fit, we can't go back to landmarks. So it's going to go ahead and compute the fit for us. And it's going to take a little bit. And basically, based on the points that we put on the face, it's going to try to compute out the rig. And there we go. Basically got a computed rig. And now what we can do is we can move these guidelines around to
get a much finer adjustment on the fit of our face.
Alright, so what we basically have is these guidelines here and this one kind of sort of up here, which define the boundaries of the jaw envelopes. And if these were just, not in the right area completely, you might either want to check your landmarks or you might want to check your rig for issues. But these look pretty good where they're placed. You could also check the jaw line, the jawbone itself rather, to make sure it's hinged correctly, and you can look at anatomy and whatnot to figure out where you want the upper limit of this lower jaw to be and where you want it to be in the chin. It looks pretty fine to me. Softimage does a pretty good job as long as you put the landmarks in pretty much the correct places. You could also check the eye rotations to see if they're rotating in the right spots. Those look pretty good to me as well. And then basically the lines between this dot and this dot here kind of sort of control where the bulge is going to happen with the throat area, and we're pretty much going to call this solid, what we got here thus far, and we're going to go into the solve phase. So we can go ahead and save this scene as solve start, just in case we decide to go back to the fit because something just came out extremely atrocious. But this is pretty much the point where we're going to get our actual true rig. And it's just going through and basically looking at everything we picked and all that kind of good stuff, and it's basically creating a auto rig for us for our face, a face robot. Alrighty, and so the solve is done, and here we have our fully solved head, and we've got all our face controls. It's used our markers and the data that we provided in stage 4 to pretty much give us fully rigged character. We've got some of the basic controls you would see if you were to rig your own character in a different animation package like Maya or Cinema 4D. Basically, you've got this nice eye control, using the V key for translation to quickly toggle up the translation tool, and holding the V key we can go ahead and actually use those methods to go ahead and move our eye control around. Do Control Z to get that back. We can move, holding the V key again, we can move our brow controls, and we can see how everything is nicely moving. And great thing with Softimage here is, you've got all these nuanced controls. You get some really nice deformations here. Deformations that you just couldn't achieve very easily in the amount of time it took us to achieve it here in something like Cinema 4D. Not to say that you can't do this in Cinema 4D. There's obviously, if you look at this rig, you can kind of get an idea, of the controls you would need to create, and you basically need to either use pose morphs, probably be the easiest way to do that, to create sliders and whatnot that could be manipulated by controls on the actual face, or you could create a bone system and painstakingly weight it, but so much more control in here. Alright, so that's basically it. If we hold S again to bring up our translate or our camera rotate tools, we pretty much have it set. We're going to go ahead and save this out as our solved head. And this is pretty much the final save file. We can pretty much just overwrite this one repeatedly. If we go into our options here on our Face Robot tab, we can toggle our displays and see different things. You know, our X-ray mode. We can toggle out our controls so we don't see our controls. We can toggle the face itself so we can see the controls for the actual jaw. We can toggle into various different cameras, which allows us to quickly manipulate different areas of the face. Beautiful. And in our import and export here, we've got our ability to export out our model. What we'll be doing for Cinema 4D is exporting MDD cache and using a very interesting workflow in Cinema 4D to get that out. Alrighty guys, so in the next chapter we're going to be adding motion capture to our face and Face Robot, and we're going to be using a face shift to generate the markers to do that. And then we'll be discussing Softimage's workflow for retargeting animation. Then in the last chapter we'll finally be exporting back to Cinema 4D. So see you guys there.